It's time to talk about Nike Dunk SBs inspired by hemp. In front of me, I've got the Hemp Pack that was released in 2004, early on in the history of Nike SB, and it's one of the first packs of SBs ever. These three pairs came out to celebrate 420, and it was Nike's first celebration of 420, which of course is National Weed Smoking Day. To celebrate that holiday, Nike made three pairs of Dunk Lows out of hemp. Come have a look at the first pair. It's Cascade Blue in color, and Nike's actually calling that shade of hemp Jersey Gold, which is interesting. So the Jersey Gold Cascade Blue Hemp Edition. Very cool pair of shoes that's really only worth about $300. I think they're very underrated. Let's work our way to the pair in the middle, the green pair. These are the really valuable ones. This pair of shoes was only made 420 times. That's right, there's 420 pairs of these shoes as a celebration of 420. The shade of green is known as Bonsai, and in the ShoeZeum, I had a real bonsai tree that I'd have to water every few days. I can't even tell you how many of the props in the ShoeZeum were high maintenance. I also had a cactus on display next to cactus foam posits. That didn't need to be watered as often as the bonsai. Let's have a look at the next pair. Red Mahogany is the colorway on this pair. Not nearly as limited as the 420 Bonsai edition. These ones are kind of like the Cascade Blue edition in that they're really only worth about $300. Very, very underrated pair of shoes. So in the ShoeZeum, we had a birds, bees, flowers, and trees exhibit. And the shoes inspired by trees were oftentimes inspired by weed. But these three pairs were not on display in that section. They were actually on display in the What the Dunk exhibit. And let me show you why as I grab a pair real quick. So the What the Dunk came out in 2007 to celebrate the first 5 years of Nike SB. And you'll notice right here that the toe box of the left shoe is made out of hemp. And that hemp actually comes from the three pairs right in front of me. So there was an exhibit that featured two pairs of these What the Dunks along with every shoe that made them up. So that's where these hemp shoes were in the ShoeZeum. But I want to show you another pair of Nike Dunk SB lows that were also inspired by hemp. These are cool. Check them out. They're actually called the Unhemp because unlike the hemp edition, the whole upper of the shoe is not made out of hemp. It's orange with a little bit of hemp on there. Come around here and have a look at this pair of shoes close up, and I'll tell you an interesting thing about it. So Nike has changed it up, and they're actually calling the hemp on this shoe Sail. The color of this hemp is Sail, but let's move it over next to the Mahogany and the other pairs, and you're going to notice that it's exactly the same thing. So what the heck is Sail as a color? Well, let me tell you. Sail is the shade that Nike uses to make their shoes look vintage. So have a look at the midsole on this OG Air Max 90. It's not OG in the sense that it came out in 1990. These actually were released very early on in 2013, and they're called the OGs because they're made to look vintage. Check out the outsole. But the midsole right here is a sort of yellowish shade, and that is Sail. And I'm going to show you another pair of shoes, same thing, the OG Cortezes. This shoe originally came out in 1972, and have a look at the midsoles there. They're also going to be Sail in color. Very, very cool. Okay, so let's move these OG vintage-looking shoes out of the way, and I got to tell you where these shoes were. So these shoes actually were in the Trees exhibit, and they had Top Ramen scattered all over the place because not only are these shoes known as the Unhemps, they're also called the Top Ramens because of their obvious resemblance to Top Ramen. So let's open this up, scatter them around. It's always fun when you can buy props for really, really cheap and just put them everywhere. It really brings the shoes to life. So sort of a mix of hemp and the munchies here. We all know that everyone's lived off of Top Ramen at some point in their life, whether you're a student or whether you just love Top Ramen. Anyway, here's the hemp shoes, the unhemp shoes that are also known as the Top Ramens, and I hope you enjoyed checking them out.